Hello, my name is William Snyder, and I'm the curator at the Eisenhower Presidential Library Museum and Boyhood Home in Abilene, Kansas. I would like to welcome you to our presentation of World War II Remembered Leaders, Battles, and Heroes. The next 4 years are going to be an exciting time here as we commemorate not only the upcoming 70th anniversaries of D-Day and VE and VJ days, but also many of the other pivotal events of World War II. For instance, our series of rotating exhibits will go well beyond the presentation of these major events, as we will also focus on our relationships with our allies, as well as the stories of the soldier in the field, the real-life Rosie the Riveter, and other members of the greatest generation. Our museum visitor will see the faces of these people, hear their personal stories, and celebrate their wartime innovations and contributions that led to those years of peace and prosperity in post-war America. Now, let's get the tour started by visiting the exhibit's conceptual design. Here in our virtual gallery, as well as in our real-life gallery, our goal for this exhibit is to tell these stories in new and innovative ways, incorporating some of the latest interpretive technologies. And we're also going to showcase artifacts not only from the Eisenhower collection, but also from museums and private collections from around the world. I've got a couple of these really great artifacts to show you. I'll be right back. This first artifact is a wonderful handwritten note from President Franklin Roosevelt that he used as a draft for a telegram that announced the immediate appointment of General Eisenhower to the command of Operation Overlord. The different handwriting at the bottom of the note is from Eisenhower's friend General Marshall, who saved this piece of paper from the trash. Another one of our artifacts is a recent donation to the Presidential Museum. This Ike jacket was donated by a local Abilene resident who was in the Army during World War II. Now, not only do we have artifacts from the Allied powers, but also from the Axis organizations. This pennant is from a group of Italian women who belonged to the Rural Housewives of Italy, which was a fascist support organization for women during World War II. And this never-before-seen artifact we are particularly excited about. This is also a recent donation to the Presidential Museum. This leather portfolio stamped Top Secret and Supreme Commander was carried by General Eisenhower to the unconditional surrender ceremony of Nazi Germany. In it, it held the document signed by General Jodl agreeing to that unconditional surrender. I hope that you have enjoyed this conceptual design tour of World War II Remembered Leaders, Battles, and Heroes. And remember, we are focusing on the personal stories, the human touch, and the forgotten stories of World War II. And welcome back to our studio. Programming is a key factor in the World War II Remembered Leaders, Battles, and Heroes proposal. Along with the exhibits, developing lectures, performances, and scholarly presentations, we are also focusing on developing an exciting educational program. Let's go to Kim Barbieri, the education specialist at the Eisenhower Presidential Library.
When it comes to the study of history, there's no doubt that students are sparse on details and fractured in their understanding of it. For example, when asked to place an event in sequence, they often choose the wrong decade or even the wrong century. Their knowledge of World War II is no exception. This is a highly significant event in history, unprecedented in its scope, destruction, devastation, and incredible loss of life. Our educational proposals include web-based or online curriculum and exciting educational apps for current technology. We're proposing a distance learning program for both students and teachers, as well as original research opportunities for them. For students today, they need to clearly learn the lessons of history at a very deep level. They need to make a personal connection with the past and with the generations that came before them. I can't imagine better preparation for good citizenship. World War II shaped the rest of the 20th century. We continue to feel its effects yet today.
We have already been busy collecting personal stories from those who were there, who were on those front lines. Let's hear just a couple of samples that we have collected so far.
And we went on patrol, we would protect each other. And when one was down, we protected him and got medics and brought him back. Being shot up. I would say being wounded, I did something that I wouldn't, I was stood up when I should have been down. And then that's how I got hit. And I was sorry that I let the men down.
6 in the morning, and we were taking an early breakfast when the alert sounded. But that day, I don't know why, my uncle said, we better go downstairs in the cave, which was a place. And it was good we did it, because Valognes was that very day, in the early part of the day, completely destroyed by a bombing, but remained blocked for the whole day, more or less, in complete darkness. And we remained there, tried to escape, but it was impossible because it was. But fortunately, at the end of the day, some Germans, soldiers, and started to move the stone and everything, and we went to light again. The church the remains were very little, that was facing the place where we lived.
I did have one action that I remember every day. It was my unit, my battalion, my parachute battalion. We attacked a small town called Montefosse. It's in Belgium, and it was a bad day. Snow was up to everybody's ankles, well, higher than that, up to their knees. And we attacked, and within 2 hours, we'd lost 120 men. And I remember that every day, mainly because I wondered, was it something I should have done that would have avoided this? And I've been back to that area several times, looking to see, could I have maneuvered a different way to minimize the loss of those great Americans, or was it in stone? And I guess we did the only thing we could.
Of my 10th Mountain Division, several hundred people were killed, and over 2,000 were wounded. And that was quite a sacrifice. In my company of 200 men, there were many acts of heroism and the loss of many lives. I lost several of my best friends. We lost a lot of men from my company in a minefield which the Germans had placed, and we lost 30 men in that one venture, going through that minefield in order to reach the next mountain ridge that we were attacking.
Thank you for viewing the Eisenhower Presidential Library, Museum, and Boyhood Home's World War II Remembered Leaders, Battles, and Heroes programming proposal. Before you go, some of our biggest supporters would like to speak to you.
World War II is probably the most generally studied and visited and exhibited aspect of military history anywhere in the United States. But what's important about this exhibit is the human touch and the fact that this is the connection that we have to build with our own society and with the next generation for them to understand what's important about it as we go forward.
It will benefit all of the American public, or anyone who might see this, be able to better understand what occurred in those years of the war, and understand the sacrifice made by the people involved then.
Well, one, I think you ought to recognize the contribution that Eisenhower made to our country. And that is worth his legacy is worth propelling into eternity, really. And the only way we can do it is to have more money to keep this legacy alive.
Learn how you can be a part of thanking our nation's greatest generation.